graphic violence, sexual violence, gore, nudity, barbarism. I'm warning you, do not read this manga unless you are 18 years of age or above. Disclaimer. Yup. This was a long penny one. Berserk is one of my favorite mangas. I've been reading a lot of mangas regularly from March this year, and I'm well versed with the manga and comics right now, the genre of manga and comics. And Berserk is one of the greatest manga of all time. So I started reading it. I'm in eighth volume. So I'm just going to give you the review of, or whatever I experienced while reading volume one of Berserk. I had to, read today, recollect all the events that happened in volume one, because I have got used to the character of Guts or Berserk. You know, it's a very strong character, and it has whoever reads Berserk, the character will kind of gets etched to your mind, right? So you would have seen in my community notes, Guts would appear at least once in a week right now, like just like Vagabond, Musashi character. Here, the Guts character from Berserk is having a high influence on my lifestyle as well as thought process. So, yeah, it's a powerful character. Yeah, let's start talking about Berserk Volume 1. If you look at the meaning of Berserk, it's kind of going crazy. Basic meaning is going crazy. And yes, so if first let's start with the story, okay? On story, it's set in medieval European style. I think they have adapted that kind of period, in the Japanese setting, and it follows the protagonist. So in the volume one, it starts off with a character called Black Swordsman. Why is he called Black Swordsman? Because he's carrying a very huge sword. As you can see behind me, the sword's length is like even taller than him, and it's so heavy. It's really difficult to even take it out and like battle with it, and you have to use both your hands, and it needs a tremendous amount of strength to even do a curve or like volley, all those things. So he is a guy who can wield this huge sword at ease, because I cannot tell you a lot of things. So in volume one, we just see a character called Black Swordsman entering into a castle, I would say. There is a mayor, small lord for the castle, and he goes into a tavern. So tavern is basically the bar, medieval bar. So right now we just call it bar or pub. So in medieval times it was called tavern, where you get alcohol basically, and then it's almost that setting of bar. So there is some kind of incident going on in the bar, and there is this magical being called Puck, a flying small tiny elf, which is cute. You would have seen in all these Disney animation movies, the elves kind of having a, I think I've seen a movie where the elf is so tall, so that's a different species, I guess. But in this story, volume one, there's a tiny elf called Puck. I love the character, and it is being tied up, and there are some warriors or soldiers inside the bar who's having fun, playing what do you say, arrow target, like arrow game, trying to kill the magical elf, and it's so helpless. It's being tied up. Its wings is not useful to it because it's been tied up, and it cannot escape. It kind of cries, and it kind of shouts, all those things, smart cute things it does, but it cannot escape. And then enters this character called Black Swordsman. He is basically planning to make trouble and get the higher authority. So that's his plan, it seems. As you read the manga panels, you will see that this is the impression that he gives. He's a very rude, arrogant, and he doesn't talk much. He just talks with his sword. So more action, less talk. And he basically rips apart. So this is the panel. This is exactly this, what do you say, frame, where he rips apart this soldier who is playing with a small elf, and it's just one curved swing, and then the body is ripped off into two. So this is what I was talking about, gore. And gore is basically extreme hardcore violence and then a lot of bloodshed. So straight away the story starts off with this. So you can kind of relate, that this story is going to be about anger, revenge, violence, and then emotion, raw emotion, rage of an angry man. So that is basically Guts. So our protagonist name is Guts. He's called Berserk also. I don't know. Still figuring out like what is the actual name. So people call him Guts towards the mid of the volume one. So this elf is now saved, okay, and it kind of develops an attachment to this black swordsman. It keeps following him, but he's a guy who doesn't look for any kind of relationship, even with a magical being. So the elf has like a lot of magical powers. One of them is healing powers. So from here, the story follows our protagonist, but it does not stop with this character. So the beauty of this manga Berserk is it's more than a character. It's a story with characters. So there is both story and character. So what I'm talking about story is I just told you that it's set in a medieval European style. So that itself is very rich, right? So it's diverse. There will be a lot of kingdoms and empires. Empires and emperors ruling the empires. So there will be smaller lords, higher lords. So this setting is so good for developing a lot of characters when you're putting it on a story. And so they have followed it up. Kentaro has followed it up with a lot of good characters. So he's basically entering this particular town or castle to find someone, and who is that someone is what volume one. So basically there are as you all know, there is a magical species called flying elf. They are like butterflies, so tiny, small, and they talk, they heal wounds, they have magical power. So that is one species. So this is the positive side, and there is also a negative side where there are demons and monsters living alongside with humans. And some of the monsters and demons are also emperors ruling higher than the humans. They are ruling the humans. So again, that is on the evil side, right? So there is different species on the positive side as well as negative side. And basically this black swordsman comes into this town to hunt and kill a monster. So the very first page is kind of very what do you say, sexual and nudity. So I cannot show you the first page. I can show you from the third page. But yeah, so in the first page only you'll come to know that he's a guy who hunts monsters and kills them, right? So and then the story follows. You kind of know that okay, he's coming into this town to kill another monster or try to find a demon and then kill it. So that's what this volume one is about. So he basically kills one demon who is like a reptile human, half reptile, half human. He kind of wears a reptile armor suit, but suddenly transformed into a huge reptile. And then those are all pretty interesting sketches. So this is on the story, the world that has been set. And in volume one we are just concentrating on the black swordsman, which is Guts, and then the elf. So towards the end another character enters, and it's like a catalyst. He's not the main character, but it's a small character that saves Guts from 100 soldiers. They are trying to kill Guts, capture him. But this small character, a very old man who's like basically doesn't have any legs or hands. He basically is kind of looking wise, but he's very ugly that you can't even look at him. Okay, so he kind of rescues Guts, and then he leads to his secret hidden place where they discover something called Behelt. So volume one ends at this note. You kind of realize that the story is all about Guts and the world that he is going to face. So you want to know what made him this. You want to know the history of Guts, and you want to know what's going to happen in the future as well, where he's going to. He is looking for some kind of particular demons, and he wants to hunt them all, right? So you are both you are interested in both the history as well as the future of this character, and what all, like it's like you want to know more. So you kind of pick up the volume 2, and then you just keep reading. you will finish 41 volumes, I guess. So it's kind of binge worthy, but I am trying to moderate and then making sure I give some break of 1 or 2 weeks before I pick up the next volume, because the character still lives with you. Like once you read Berserk, it's not gonna go away. The raw emotions, it's like friends becoming enemies, and then a lot of things. And I'm just into the eighth volume. They say the best is yet to come, like 13, 14, or like beyond that. So I'm more intrigued to read more. So I'm in eighth. I'll probably keep reading Berserk and try to finish at least 20 volumes this year, hopefully. Yeah, but this is all volume one. And why Berserk is one of the what do you say, all-time greats. So it's a story. It's not story is good, okay, and character is also good. So you can both classify the story as well as the characterization, the development of characters, as between great to good. But why it stands out is, even before Vagabond, I think this was released. So the artwork, so it is very detailed, especially when you have panels like this where the characters slaying the enemies, monsters, demons, humans, and it's like extreme violence. Sometimes they'll poke the eyes and take the balls out and then cut the neck. So to how do you draw these kind of sketches and how do you make it so convincing and detailed? It is like watching a movie. So you kind of watch, you are not just reading, right? So as usual, I say in all the manga and comics episode, these genres are not just random or like normal books where you try to read the words and sentence and imagine the whole thing. So there are some ready-made imagination available there as a sketch. So you have to read the dialogues as well as see what's happening, and then you kind of animate the sketches on your mind. So it's like a flight path where you just have to take off. Like the path is set and you are like just about to take off. So it's very well set, and that helps a lot. So unless the sketches are really poor and the dialogues are messed up, stories like there's no story at all, so you don't tend to read such kind of manga or comics. But Berserk is one of the greatest. I feel that that's because the sketches, so the story characterization were backed up with the demanding sketch that it needed. So the story is very dark, right? And you can see the sketch that's portrayed exactly. Like if you see any frame, any random frame you take from Berserk, it's going to be like you can put a photo frame and hang it on your wall. It's that kind of Da Vinci style or the standards of Da Vinci. So etched out. Even I have seen videos in YouTube, even in those sketches, they have found mistakes. So basically, humans human errors tend to happen, but the amount of detailing that has gone into the sketches, it's so good. And it's sad that the creator Kentaro Miura is not alive and he's dead. So yeah, I'm like very sad that I had to discover manga and like Berserk and Vagabond only this year. I think I wasted my life. I should have started before. Okay, so that's about the story and character and sketches. Let's deep dive into the panels. Let me show you my copy. As I said, the first two pages are sexual, so I would not be showing those first two pages. Let me just, yeah, this is my copy. Always I write my name. And we'll jump to the third page. Yeah, he just kills a monster, and then yeah, this should be good, right? Visible. Okay, now here he goes. He walks into a castle, and then this is the flying elf. It's called Puck. The name will be revealed later, but as you can see, a couple of warriors or soldiers, they are trying to play with the elf. It's been tied to a target board, and then they are trying to basically hit the target by killing it. So just for fun for them. But then Guts, or Black Swordsman, enters and then starts off, going like you see. He's just straight away gets the sword out and then rips the soldiers apart. So initially you tend to think that he's trying to save the elf, but that's not the case. This is like a trap. So people who witness this fight, they will go and complain to the higher authorities, and basically he'll be captured. So that's what is going to happen, and that what happens. But when you read, you don't realize this. So if you see, the elf is kind of
convinced that the black swordsman helped him out, and it develops an attachment, and it starts following, and as predicted, like the news spreads, and then like 50 soldiers around, a lot of soldiers gather around him, and then they capture him, they kind of torture him. Who is he? Why did he kill? So it's a crime and it's the sin. Like, you just walk into the city, a stranger, and then gets into a tavern and kills soldiers. That's kind of against the ruler, and this is the lord or mayor of the particular castle. But above him there is another person, and we'll see it him. So now he goes to this higher authority. He's, as you can see, his teeth is particularly strange. It doesn't look like human teeth. So this is like a foreshadowing. They don't reveal until here that there are monsters in this. Oh, they actually revealed in the first page, but here you kind of give a foreshadowing that he's a character who is looking for a specific kind, okay, and he wants to destroy all the monsters. So it kind of attracts the what do you say, attention of this higher lord, and then he says, as you can see, this is the reptile what do you say, guard or armor, and basically he comes into the town with a lot of soldiers, and then yeah, this is when where the elf is using its magical powers to heal Guts' wound, and then it discovers this particular seal, which was made with firearm. I think the golden age, I mean, in the ancient times, they used to like how they used to do for cows, they used to kind of etch it with a fire rod. So it is some peculiar sign it notices, and this elf also has the ability to feel the emotions of a human. So it kind of feels different emotions when it comes to Guts, and it keeps wondering, why is this guy so rude? I'm being very kind and I'm speaking politely, but this guy is so rude and arrogant. He doesn't care for humans, he doesn't have any feelings, and he doesn't talk to anyone. He just wants to fight everyone and then kill everyone. So it kind of goes on like this between them. So I thought the elf plays a very good character, but I was disappointed. So it's a good character. They didn't develop the character of this elf in the anime, so that was a disappointment. I am yet to watch the anime. Yeah, it goes on, and then as predicted by what do you say, Guts, it attracts the attention of the higher lord, and he comes in to kill the black swordsman. So black swordsman is known everywhere, so it's like he's a wanted person, and this particular monster lord, he wants to capture him. So he comes with his soldiers, and then there's a huge battle, and you can see him transform. There is a philosophical dialogue at this segment, and this is where Guts, I mean Berserk and Vagabond stands apart from other manga. So it at certain point it turns philosophical. So there'll be a very serious battle going on, or some random incident happening, and the character will utter a dialogue which is so philosophical. So here you see the monster transforms into its true form, a reptile. So you see here how it's slowly transforming. So this is the actual form. So it was basically in a human form, so but this is the actual form, and it's not a human, right? So Guts is fighting, and he's almost to his death. That's what everybody thinks, that's what the reader also thinks. But then he pulls off, like superheroes, he always pulls off a smart move at the end, and he ends up killing the monster. Yeah. So yeah, before that, if you see, there is a couple of dialogue. The monsters see how pathetic human are. You humans are nothing more than food, nothing but morsels to fill our stomachs. Food should learn to act. Food should learn to act like food. Okay, so that is so dark, right? So it's saying that humans are food, and food should act like food. So if you see earlier, when the mayor is coming to meet the higher lord, it is eating an air. So it throws this air piece, it was actually having a human meat. So it's very dark, I would say. So that's the reason I gave this disclaimer at the beginning. And yeah, basically it defeats the reptile monster. I mean, Guts defeats the reptile monster, and he keeps moving on. So he gives a riposte. reply to the claim that the monster made, right? So see, this is where it gets philosophical. Like you said, humans are weak. We die easily, but no matter how weak we are, even if we are being chopped to bits or stabbed to death, we still want to live. So humans have this natural tendency to survive. That's what he says. This is a very powerful dialogue, and you can go berserk quotes. If you put it on Google, you would definitely see this frame. And yeah, I was making a point earlier that every frame is like Da Vinci standards. So we can just take this as a, what do you say, printout, and then put it on a wall as a frame or stick it as a poster. So every frame, almost every frame is like that. So if you randomly pick any frame, the artwork is so good. So Guts keeps traveling and the elf keeps following him. So this is a random incident where he runs into a farmer and his daughter, and they offer him a ride, but Guts, he says that I'm being followed by evil spirits. You will put your life in danger. Why do you want to give me a ride? Just get away. He just ran. What do you say? He's so rude in replies also. But the farmer insists, and he has no other choice to get inside, and he just talks with the daughter. But then suddenly they enter a graveyard, right? So in the graveyard, there are like the skeletons are coming to life, and it's targeting this particular what do you say, horse carriage, and there's no other choice but to fight again. So whenever there's danger or evil beings near, Guts kind of feel this. So if you see here, before that, he'll get up and then this thing summons them. So it's like he attracts evil beings. So that's why he said in the earlier, before the ride, he said he denies the ride. I don't want your ride. Just get away. He'll just say randomly, rudely, and he'll say the reason that evil beings are following me. So basically this sign in his neck kind of attracts evil beings. So the farmer and the daughter ends up dying, but Gut somehow survives the battle. So this is the battle scene where he kind of battles skeletons who have come alive. This is very interesting, and I don't know why they didn't animate or make it into an anime episode. These initial volumes, these would have also made as a good episode, I guess, to watch in anime. Yeah, this is like the major after the battle with the reptile monster. This is another one, and then he keeps going. So there is another higher lord. You can see him. He doesn't look like human. So he's I'll cover his character in volume 2. So in volume 1, his character is not exposed. So we just see him as another lord, a higher lord, and he's also a monster, dictatorial, has this cruel rule of beheading heretics. Heretics is who are not conforming to the rules of the state. So basically anyone who revolts or rebels, so they are heretics. So he has this tradition of beheading them in public. So that's one incident that is happening, and then Guts enters and he wants to fight this monster, but then he's being chased by all the soldiers present at there, and then he kind of runs away, but then there's too many soldiers. At one point it's difficult to get away. He's cornered, and then the character enters, the one I was mentioning earlier before, weird ugly creature. See over here quickly, is almost like cornered. You see here the soldiers, they kind of round him, and then it's difficult to get him. How many men you can take out even with a very huge sword, and then one man, he's literally one man army, but even for him there's too many people to take out. So he has to escape through a different route, and this is where a strange character comes in, and he asks them to follow. So Guts and the elf follows them. So they get into this dungeon or deep inside, place, a cave kind of place. So it's like a setup, like there's a lot of shelves, and you kind of see there's a dead elf also. It kind of freaks out. It's a very funny character. So as I said, it's a very dark story, right? So especially hi Perry Gaming and hi Karthik, and I'm just seeing you guys message. Let me just enable it here. Okay. Oh yeah, so let's get back to the panels, and it's a very eerie place, but then he has saved Guts and Elf, right? Puck. So he has an agenda and he wants Guts help. That's why he offered help. So he's not an evil character. He's a good character, but he looks ugly because of so and so reasons, which will be revealed in volume 2 more. And yeah, he says that he's a demon, the Higher Lord, the guy who we saw here, like this ruler. So we know that Guts has killed a reptile lord before, so it's now his turn to finish him off, and he tells his story and he shows him something beheld. So this is a very important what do you say prop basically, but then element in the story. Beheld is something very powerful, I would say. Right now I don't want to reveal much about it. Yeah, this is where the story of volume 1 ends, and you kind of get hooked. You want to know what's this elf, I mean this beheld, and then why this strange ugly character helped Guts, and what help it needs from Guts, and whether Guts is going to offer or not. Guts is not a what do you say, polite individual, right? He's very rude, arrogant. He doesn't offer help to anyone. He just has an agenda to kill a particular group of demons, and he's looking for them. So he has this weird tattoo which is etched or burnt into his skin on the neck, and it kind of attracts evil. So there's already so many mysterious elements surrounding this character in this world. So you're kind of hooked already. You would be picking up immediately after finishing volume 2. You'll be picking up volume 1. So that's something what do you say, guaranteed. And yeah, so sketch, artwork, story, characters, and then the mysterious elements, and not everything will be revealed in this first volume. So something will be revealed in volume 2, something will be in 5, something will be in 8. So still I am discovering. And I one thing I kind of didn't like is they kind of removed, or the narrative had to ignore or discard the elf character at one point. So that's someone I miss. So as you see, the elf character is kind of very comical. The way it talks and his expressions are so, what do you say, cute. So it doesn't have a sex. So they don't show the sex of the elf character. We do not know whether it's a he or she. So we just know that it has wings and it kind of flies, and it's basically like a butterfly, and it has this weird human expressions, and like similar human expressions, but it has magical healing properties, and it can feel the emotions of the human. So it's very good. So I kind of miss that character when the story develops in the further volumes. And yeah, and I can promise you I'm in 8th volume, so the story still stays as intriguing as volume 1, and the character gets only stronger and stronger. So when you get deep into the volumes, you're gonna witness a lot of characters, powerfully developed, strong characters that's gonna be with your life. So once you read Berserk, you cannot erase Berserk from your mind. So unless you go into a coma or you kind of have memory loss. So it's that kind of power. It's gonna give you nightmares, and whatever is gonna happen in your life is going to reflect the story. So basically, uh, it's based on, like, every story, book, movie, anything fiction or even non-fiction is, resonates our real life, right? So we would have had friends, and then them turning into enemies, and then revenge. You are getting an agenda, and this is pretty common in real life as well, right? So betrayals, and then incels, and injustice. So that makes your character, like how you react or respond to it, and what kind of character you develop after facing all these setbacks. Fallen, are you gonna, like, tie down, bend down, and take the life, or you're gonna face it with a more stronger character? So it basically resonates life, both Vagabond and Berserk. That's why I love both Vagabond and Berserk. So I kind of feel that these two are some of the best stories out there, especially Vagabond is all about one particular character. So there are other characters, but the main focus is on Miyamoto Musashi, who is, like, basically we are studying about a legendary swordsman who actually lived in Japan.
right? We are seeing the story of reading the story as in manga. But here it's a fictional character, Berserk. But he is going to be real for you. You kind of would relate, let's say in 41 volumes, definitely at least in one volume, you would relate to him because something that would have happened in your real life will reflect Berserk's life. And that's how the characters are made, stories are made, and written, and movies are made. So basically, it reflects real life. So I think people below 18 do not read. I can tell you that parental. You can see in the book, you do not have it in the cover that is in the background. So you can see parental advisory, explicit content. So it's not just about nudity. It's about the story is strong. It's very strong. It will affect you. So you should be matured enough to imbibe the story, to imbibe the content, the betrayals, the injustice that is out there in the world. So I would suggest you do not read if you're under 18. And if you are above 18, then if you're interested in rich and diverse medieval stories, then definitely go for it. And Berserk is something you should read, I guess. So if you're a fan of manga, then definitely you would know about Berserk. And if you're beginning with manga, then definitely Berserk is one of the very good stories to start with. An artwork. So mangas are famous for artwork. So Berserk stands, I would say, Vagabond is for me. Out of all the one I have read, I think Vagabond is number one, and number two would be Berserk. So artwork, I just loved it. So this is, I would say, Berserk again. Every panel's frame would be like a photo frame. You can take it as a photo and then put it on, hang it on wall, or stick it as a poster in your wall. It's that good and amazing. Especially, it's more violence. So more than Vagabond, Berserk has more violence, and also the story is strong, dark, very sad, depressing, and it kind of Berserk. You become Berserk if you read Berserk. That's all I can tell you. So if you want me to summarize Berserk after reading 8 volumes, you become Berserk after reading Berserk. So that's all I can tell you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm the one who reached you. Hi, Karthikeyan. Yeah, you have a different name, so I got confused. Here it's Karthikeyan. Yeah, I'm saying hello to Perry Gaming, Karthikeyan. They kind of dropped by in live chat. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I have read 8 volume. I mean, I've read 7 volumes. I'm into 8 volume now, so I want to take it slow, like one by one. So Dragon Ball, Vagabond, and then I'm reading Noragami. Noragami is also very good, and this one Fairy Tail. So these are all like very good mangas that I've enjoyed reading. So I want to come on live streams and talk about them along with novel books as well as comics. So do look forward to it monthly, at least once I'll target. But yeah, manga is something I want to talk about always. So yeah, do stay tuned. I'll catch you in another live stream or a video or a podcast or a movie. Until then, you're watching Medley with MaddiE. I'm MaddiE Dawson. Bye bye.